Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be testing out Temu art supplies. The first item that I got was a creative drawing and sketching toolkit with a projection board. This cost me $4.84 Canadian. The next item is a 60-piece leaf stencil kit, and this cost me $8.10. I also got another 24-piece stencil set, but this one was of wildflowers, and it cost me $4.80. I got a 20-pack of mini flower-shaped plastic paint palettes for $1.68, a 3-pack of sponge stamps for $2.64, a 2-pack of mini canvases measuring 6 by 6 inches. This was $5.81. And then for my favorite purchase, a 2-pack of wooden round centerpieces that measure about 8.6 inches to 9.8 inches. They were the most expensive item at $21.85. Next was just 2 rolls of masking tape for $5.29. And then finally, a 6-pack of brushes for $2.62. The first thing I did was try to build the sketching toolkit with the projection board. In theory, this seemed like a great idea, but when I actually tried to use it later, I found that it did not project an image very well, so it didn't end up getting used in the final picture. I also went to go search this product afterwards on the website, and it had apparently been discontinued. The brushes had said on the website that they're for acrylic paints and watercolor paints, but when I got the package, it said that it was only for watercolor paints, but I will use them anyways. The sponges I really like. They're very soft and look like they'd be very good for blending. The paint palettes were a bit smaller than I expected, but they can still come in handy. I like both of the stencil sets. They come with a lot of variety. After looking through every single one of them, I made a pile of ones that I wanted to use in the picture today. Both of the canvases look good, but I won't be using them in today's video because I'm going to be painting on the wood slice instead. The tape seems good. I'll be using it to put around the edges of the wood slice. The wood slices themselves I really liked. They didn't have any cracks and the surface was really smooth for painting on. I'll probably end up getting more of these because it's hard to find good affordable wood slices. The first thing I did for this painting was I took the masking tape and I put it around the edges of the wood slice. I put it so it was covering the bark, but I had to do it in a lot of individual pieces so I could make it as rounded as possible. The stickiness of the tape seems great. It seems like it's holding up well, but we'll see later if the paint bled through it all at the end when I take the tape off. After I had all the tape down, I started painting. I just used my acrylic paints and I put some blobs of different colors around the canvas. Some black, some white, some pink, some green, some yellow, and some blue. It would have been cool to test out acrylic paint from Temu, so then the whole final product would be Temu products, but since they didn't, I obviously just used my regular acrylic paint, which is Golden Acrylics. I wasn't too mad about this though, because this is my favorite paint to use. Next, I used the sponge stamps to start blending the paint out. I actually really liked using these. I like the texture that it created in the picture that I don't think you could really get with regular acrylic brushes. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit more here. I just went around the entire picture and I blended out all the paint blobs. Once the background was all done, I started using the stencils. I started with one of the bigger stencils, one that was of some leaves, and then I used the sponge stamp to apply the paint to it. The trick here was to make sure you didn't have too much paint on the sponge, or it did start to seep through the edges of the stencil. Next, I started using some of the smaller stencils, and I applied a little bit more color to these ones. For this one, I used some green and some yellow, and using the sponge stamp, I really liked the texture that I gave and the way that it blended the paint together. Next, I just continued to make my way around the picture, adding various stencils and different colors all around until I liked the final look. Next, I decided I may as well utilize some of the packaging, so I took some of the bubble wrap, dipped it in the paint, and then put some little blobs all around the picture. This is when I wanted to start painting some butterflies, so I tried to use the projector. I had the picture up on my phone, and I just realized it just was coming across very blurry, and you couldn't really adjust the size much, or really the position without putting the phone and the projector on the picture. So I decided not to use it, and to just freehand it. Here I started using the brushes, the watercolor brushes. I feel like they actually worked out okay. I'm honestly not too sure what the huge difference is between watercolor or acrylic brushes, but I started to paint some mushrooms first, and I was going to add the butterflies later. The mini paint palettes also worked down okay. I usually like to just use a smooth board, but I feel like maybe these would work well for traveling. They also probably wouldn't be the best if you were working on a really big picture, but I think the size worked well for this small painting. After painting the mushrooms, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more white to the painting, so I started adding some highlights along the edges of the mushrooms. And after that, I also added some highlights along the edges of the leaves that I made with the stencils. I felt like this helped to make the leaves pop a little bit more and also helped to brighten up the overall picture. After adding the white highlights along the leaves, I also added some shadows along the other sides with the black paint. Here I just used some watered down white paint and I used the brush to flick it onto the picture to add some little white dots all around it. Next, I took some pink and white paint mixed together and I painted some stylized roses along some of the branches and the leaves. For the last step, I finally painted some butterflies. I didn't make them as detailed as I originally thought I was going to. I felt like there was already a lot of detail in the picture, so I just thought adding a few small butterflies would just tie it all together. And then, for the most satisfying part, I pulled the masking tape off the edges of the picture. I felt like the masking tape worked very well, it didn't bleed through at all. The borders all looked nice and crisp, and I was very happy with the end result. And then here you have it, the final picture. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.